There we go.
You want to live on the fringes of that grade.
All right. Ready? I already did the wingspan. You get it all. All right. Mind you. Congratulations, I mean 40 under 40. Oh, yeah.
Now we're just bragging.
Yeah.
Yes, congratulations.
Well, we'll say back in another era I was too.
I'm on the,
Those first couple of those first couple of portraits.
looking for the 70 under 70.
Right. It already looks like it's from a. I don't know if they did digital the first few years. The pterodactyl. All right. Ready? Okay. All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Hillsborough Township Planning Board meeting of December 11th, 2025. Please join me in a salute to the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be advised this meeting has been duly advertised according to Section 5 of the Open Publics Meeting Act, Chapter 231, Public Law 1975, otherwise known as the Sunshine Law. Notice of the 2025 annual meeting schedule has been provided to the officially designated newspapers. Township clerk posted on the township's website and available here at the Township Municipal Complex. In addition, application documents, plans have been made available on the Township Civic Clerk website at least 10 days in advance of this evening's meeting. Complete application files are available in the Planning and Zoning Department for inspection in accordance with the Open Public Meeting Notice. If that may I have a roll call of board members and also board and township professionals, please.
Mr. Flagg, Ms. Smith, Mr. Deb, and Mr. Smith are absent. Mr. Wagner?
Here.
Mr. Radowitz?
Here.
Mr. Vitale?
Here.
Committeeman Lapani?
Present.
Mayor Ciccarelli?
Here.
Vice Chair Peason?
Here.
Mayor Sarachi?
Here.
Mr. Coyce?
Present.
Ms. Ball?
Here.
Mr. Bernstein?
Here.
Mr. Mayhew?
Here.
And myself and the videographer are here.
You sure?
I checked.
Okay, welcome, everybody. We have a few things before we get to our application this evening. First up, we have a number of meeting minutes for consideration. First one is regular minutes of July 10th of 2025. Mr. Bernstein.
Mr. Wagner, Committeeman Lapani, Mayor Ciccarelli, Vice Chair Peason, and yourself are eligible.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Okay, comments from dais? None, roll call, please.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani?
Yes.
Mayor Ciccarelli?
Yes.
Vice Chair Peason?
Yes.
Mayor Sarachi?
Yes. Next up, regular minutes of October 9th, 2025.
Mr. Vitale, Committeeman Lapani, excuse me, Mayor Ciccarelli, Vice Chair Peason, and the Chair.
Thank you. Motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Let Michael figure that one out. Comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Vitale?
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani?
Yes.
Mayor Ciccarelli?
Yes.
Vice Chair Peason?
Yes.
Mayor Sarachi?
Yes. Next are the executive session minutes of June 5th, 2025.
No, February 13th, 2025.
Oh, I skipped. Okay, we'll do February 13th, 2025.
Mr. Wagner, Committeeman Lapani, and the Chair.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments from the dais?
Is that
Roll
all
call,
right?
please.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani?
Yes.
Chair Sarachi?
Yes. Now, June 5th, 2025, executive session minutes.
Mr. Wagner, Mr. Radowitz, Committeeman Lapani, Mayor Ciccarelli, Vice Chair Peason, Chair.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any comments? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Mr. Radowitz?
Yes.
Committeeman LaPlante?
Yes.
Mayor Chicarelli?
Yes.
Vice Chair Peason?
Yes.
Chair Sarachi?
Yes. July 10th, 2025 executive session minutes.
Mr. Wagner, Committeeman Lapani, Vice Chair Peason, Chair.
Thank you.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Committeeman LaPlante?
Yes.
Vice Chair Peason?
Yes.
Chair Sarachi?
Yes. And last week's December 4th, 2025 executive session minutes.
Mr. Wagner, Committeeman Lapani, Vice Chair Peason, Chair.
Thank you. Roll call, please. And now roll call, oh boy, I'm skipping ahead.
You're
Is there,
almost
I
done.
know, I'm trying, come on, we gotta get moving here. Is there a motion?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Wagner?
Yes.
Committeeman LaPlante?
Yes.
Vice Chair Peason?
Yes.
Chair Sarachi?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, just for the board's edification, that will bring all the executive session minutes up to date. And as far as the regular minutes, it is only going to be November 13th, December 4th, and today's minutes that are not yet complete. We anticipate that January or February
We
possibly.
can't get them done by 10 o'clock when we're done.
I mean, if you wanted to reopen after.
You're in a,
Thank you.
no, thank you, and thanks for all the work for you guys this past weekend, and these all caught up. Okay, we do not have any resolutions for consideration. We do have planning board business. You want me to announce, or you want to announce? I guess I will. No, I'll do it. I'll just take care of this. I'll let you do the second bullet. Okay. So, seat number 9 was a resignation this week by Patty Smith, our board secretary, that will be effective January 1 of 2026. I know she wasn't able to be here this evening, but yeah, life is moving on for her. We wish her well and do appreciate all of her time, the years that she has served here. Hopefully, we may be able to recognize her in the new year at a future meeting.
As one who got her involved, that's how it happens. Seems like I'm always the bad guy, but I wish her all the best. And obviously, she probably would have, with her lives moving on, but she had to stay for the Fab Five because she made the quorum. So she finished what she had to do, and it was time for her to step down. Thank you, Patty and Ms. Smith.
Okay. Next item is an alert. I think we all saw it in the newspapers about cyber fraud emails. Mr. Coyce?
Yes, so earlier in the week, there's a series of emails that are going out to applicants posing as the township's planning and zoning department. So we're just want to let the public know, and especially the applicants that are here, please be aware of that. Please make sure that when you are getting an email from us that you're checking the email address. We're never going to be asking you to wire money to us. That's not what we do. So just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. And the newspaper was very fast with getting it out.
Yeah.
So
No, we definitely appreciate that. And, always when in doubt, just phone the office.
Mr. Chair, before you
Yes, sir.
get to the last item, I'd like to remind the planning office that the approval of the executive session minutes tonight does not make them public. They are all pending litigation matters, so I'm just, for the record.
thank
I'm
you.
assuming you know that already, but.
We do. But thank you. It's good for the public, just so they're not asking us for them.
Not knocking on your door wanting to know where they are.
Right. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And final business item, the amended Sunnymead landfill redevelopment area preliminary investigation report. We're having it adjourned to the January 22nd, 2026 planning board meeting, or it's actually our business meeting, with renotice. And so it looks like you want to add?
Mr. Bernstein, did you want to weigh in on that? I can if you like.
I'm not allowed to use the word because it's not a legal word, but the beacon, and you can fill in the blank. It was unfortunately published in the wrong newspaper. It was published in the Packet. Packet is not an official newspaper of the municipality, and because of same, our office determined that we did not come into compliance, no fault of the planning department. In fact, they did everything they were supposed to do, and then some. So I want everybody to understand that part. Just because they sent something and it says put it in the packet now. It was supposed to be in the Beacon. There is no, we have to this day, correct me if I'm wrong, no understanding from them as to how it got into the wrong paper,
They admitted it was a mistake,
but no idea how.
and they'll give us a refund. No, yeah.
Don't spend it all in one place.
We're unfortunately responsible for the personal notices, but
Right, so, we will renotice. It will be on the January 2nd, 22 meeting, assuming it makes the correct paper.
right, there'll have to be the notices and the personal notices, all that's going to have to be redone. So,
Sounds good. Pass the candy along. Reload. Okay, we do not have any ordinances for consideration, so that I will move to business from the floor for matters not on this evening's agenda. If anyone would like to come up to provide any comments to the board, please come up and state your name and address for the record, please. Did you get more candy then?
Good evening. Maria Janusik, 720 East Freck Avenue, Manville, New Jersey. I'm also a Hillsborough Township property owner, Block 86, Lot 3, 2155 Camp Plain Road. In regard to tree preservation, there had been an ordinance adopted, Ordinance 2024-16, regarding tree preservation. And then at Monday's Hillsborough Township Committee meeting, there was a presentation in regard to Sustainable Jersey Gold Standard in water, and it talks about, among other things, Community Forestry Management Plan and New Jersey Urban Forestry Program accreditation. So with clean, healthy water, trees are very important. And apparently, it's important because there's an ordinance regarding tree preservation. But one of the applications that came before this board, Glengarry, they had submitted a waiver because they want to cut down over 2,000 trees. And not only that they want to cut them down, but also they do not intend to replant any trees. And that's an area where there are freshwater wetlands, and it's an area where there is a flood hazard area. That application was approved, so that applicant got a waiver to cut down over 2,000 trees.
I don't recall the specifics.
That applicant got a waiver because it's part of an inclusionary affordable housing development, and therefore that's why they were granted the waiver.
So once an applicant gets approval or has a settlement agreement with the township, then a lot of the requirements or ordinances of the township can be bypassed because of that aspect, that it's affordable housing.
You got that right.
Yeah, they can't be an obstacle. If you recall, we were ordered by a judge to rectify an ordinance regarding not that application, Stream Water Corridor. We had an ordinance, and we rejected that application initially and went to court, and the judge basically told the Township Committee, make that problem go away.
The Glengarry project
No, it
was-
wasn't Glengarry, but I'm just trying to say, when it comes to,
The courts have held on multiple occasions, and I'm not talking Somerville, I'm talking the Appellate Division and the Supreme Court, that municipal ordinances which impact affordable housing developments cannot be used to stand in the way of an affordable housing development. and this, in that case, was one of them.
So they got permission to cut down over 2,000 trees, and they do not need to replant. And they don't have to apply, but they don't have to go by any of the requirements of the ordinance where, in cases where the trees can't be replanted, that they can,
That's correct.
pay.
That's correct, ma'am.
nothing. So they can just do, basically, they can do
Because it's an
whatever.
affordable housing development, they can. If you believe that that's a problem, I would suggest that you contact your local legislators and tell them that, because that's the law in this state, not because this planning board or the township committee allowed it. It's because, or any municipality, it's because the courts of this state and the legislature have said that's how it's going to be.
So the settlement agreement,
Is in
Between Hillsborough-
accordance with the court's determination.
so that judge who was involved in that settlement agreement, he's the one that,
No, that
Okay.
judge who enforced the law relative to that settlement agreement. It all goes back, Mrs. Janasek, to the legislature and prior court decisions, not Judge Miller, not the planning board, not the Hillsborough Township Committee, but a series of case decisions that have basically said municipalities can't enforce certain ordinances when it comes to dealing with affordable housing.
so even though there are huge issues
The-
with flooding.
ma'am?
So what is the recourse then?
We actually have a local assemblyman that you could reach out to.
And who is that?
Assemblyman Fryman.
Fryman, he has an
Sorry, who?
office. Assemblyman Fryman, he's a Hillsborough resident, and he also has an office here in Hillsborough.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public? Before we move on? Okay, see no takers, so moving on to applications. The first one, 303 Amwell Road, I'm just going to state file number 21-PB-17-MSPV. The applicant is providing an extension of time through March 31st of 2026 and has requested the issue to be adjourned to a date to be determined by the board without further notice. Mr. Boyce,
For the
anything?
purpose of the record, this is a property the township is in the process of attempting to acquire, which had a proposal for a warehouse on it, and there are some outstanding issues that need to be resolved, and that's why the extension is coming through.
Thank you. Is there any action we need to take, well, other than to
You
grant the
need a
extension?
motion
yeah.
to do so. You need a motion, Mr. Chairman, to extend the time of decision on this application through March 31st, 2026, and be adjourned to a date to be determined without further notice.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any comments? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Wagner.
Yes.
Mr. Radowitz.
Yes.
Mr. Vitale.
Yes.
Committee Milipani.
Yes.
Vice Chair Peason.
Yes.
Chair Sarachi.
Yes. Okay, now we're here for the main event, so everyone can take their seats. Dukes Parkway East LLC, Crane Farm LLC, with file number 24-PB-11-MSPV. There's a reference, file number 86-PB-05 SRV, with time decision of December 31st, 2025. It's for Block 58, Lot 67.02, and it's commonly known as 236 Dukes Parkway East. And I will let the applicant's attorneys to introduce themselves and to provide overview.
Good evening, my name is Robin Wright.
You can, A, turn it on, and B, move it closer, counsel.
Okay. How's this? Okay.
All
All
right.
right. My name is Robin Wright. I'm an attorney at the law firm of Lanza & Lanza in Flemington, New Jersey. We represent Dukes Parkway East LLC and Crane Farm LLC. They're the owners of the property at 236 Dukes Parkway East, which is the subject of the application tonight. The applicants are seeking amended site plan approval with a C variance. The property is a commercial property. It's in the I-2 light industrial zone. It had a site plan approval in 1986 that the applicants are now seeking to amend. There are two businesses that operate on the property, which you'll hear more about from our witnesses. One is Moy Handling, which is one of the premier operators of crane service companies in the northeastern United States. They provide cranes to New York City for their subway system. They've provided overhead cranes for their Chernobyl site in Ukraine. I have Russ Chelak here who's going to describe that business. The other property on the site is S&R Pools. This is a business that services and repairs pools throughout the Northeast. They've constructed about 300 pools here in Hillsborough. I have Kevin Levanitis who's going to describe that business. The principal issue with the original site plan has to do with the buffer to the rear of the property. This is a commercial property that abuts a residential zone to its rear. The 86 site plan was approved a 20-foot buffer to the rear of the property, and over the years that buffer has degraded. Our applicants are here with a proposal to restore that buffer. They're not simply seeking to restore it, but also to widen it, to expand it. The plan that we submitted shows a 25-foot buffer between the property and the rear residential zone. But as you'll hear our engineer discuss today, we're actually proposing making it even wider than that. We do need a C variance. We are proposing outdoor storage on the property, and an ordinance that was passed in the township in 2008 or 2009 requires a 60-foot buffer where a non-residential property abuts a residential property and proposes outdoor storage. We can't provide a 60-foot buffer because of conditions on the property, but the proposal that we are making is something that will satisfy the needs of the ordinance, the concerns that underlay the ordinance, as well as the needs of the businesses and the needs of the properties to the rear. There are some other changes to the site plan that our engineer will discuss. They have to do with adding a small 250-foot shed, rearranging some gravel areas and some of the parking. There's also a building on site that currently serves as an office building with plumbing and heating and a bathroom. It's designated as a shed on the 1986 plan. We're proposing correcting that so that it's an office. I have a number of witnesses here tonight. James Mance is our engineer and surveyor. He's going to describe the 1986 plan, the plan that we're proposing and the amendments that we're proposing, as well as he's had some subsequent conversations with Mr. Mayhew, and he's going to discuss the result of those conversations and how he's proposing to modify the plan as a result of those changes. We also have Russ Chelak from Moy Handling here and Kevin Levanitis from the S&R Pools. We have Thomas Biro, who prepared the landscape design. He'll address any landscaping issues that anyone may have. And we also have Mark Remza, who's a professional planner. He's going to describe and explain why you should support the amended site plan and how the amendments that we seek to make satisfy the criteria for C variance relief. So with that, I would ask the board, does the board want to swear everyone in at once?
We're
Or?
gonna swear everyone in over.
Okay, one at a time. My first witness will be Mr. Mance.
Okay.
Michael?
I do. My name is James J. Mance, M-A-N-T-Z. I'm a licensed professional engineer and land surveyor in the state of New Jersey. I graduated from Rutgers College of Engineering in 1977. I received my professional engineering license in 1982, my surveyor's license in 1992. Since graduating from college, I've been involved in the land development aspects for applicants, and also road construction, various other projects and so forth. I've actually testified before this board, although it's probably about 20 years ago. I have testified before other planning boards in the area, most recently Warren Township.
Mr. Mance, by whom are you employed?
I am self-employed.
Thank you.
Any objections? Okay, we accept. Please proceed.
Right, Mr. Mance, why don't we start with,
Gotta get closer to the mic, counsel.
okay, in my exhibit list, I proposed the application documents that we previously submitted as Exhibit A. Is that,
We don't normally mark.
You don't need to have them marked?
What we mark is what is introduced at the
Okay.
hearing.
okay. Then we're going to start with our first exhibit, which is going to be the 1986 site plan.
Will you indicate, Mr. Mance, who is the author of this plan and the date on it and what it represents, and we're going to mark this as A1.
All right. Now, we're a little bit different than what I have these exhibits marked as, but let me get,
I'm just, when I'm marking them, I'm marking for purposes of the transcript and also for the resolution.
yeah. This is a site plan that was dated last revised. I just lost it.
Maybe scroll up a little bit.
Yeah.
There it is.
Keep going.
I know. It just.
You want to look at a copy of this?
A little further down.
Okay, I'm sorry. The site plan was dated last revised 6/11/86. It was prepared by Richard P. Russ, P.E., license number 18665. And it was stamped approved plan 5/1/86, although the plan has also a stamp on it received June 12th, 1986. But this was the approved site plan.
And these were provided with the, we did submit, I believe, 18 hard copies of these, so they should be all in your packet. Mr. Mance, can you describe some of the conditions on the site plan, and particularly the buffer to the rear?
Well, first of all, the property is located in the I-2 light industrial zone. It's a 5.79 acre property on the south side of Dukes Parkway. The access is via a driveway which runs along the common driveway, common lot line between lot 67.01 and 67.02. That's what I'm running my mouse over, is that property line. The property, when the site plan was proposed, had contained an existing workshop, and then the proposal was to build a 6,000 square foot building on the west side of that workshop and another building to the front of that workshop, along with the proposal for those buildings expansions was to create a driveway. I'm going. We created a driveway with access to Dukes Parkway, with coming around the buildings, pretty much in a circular motion with some parking at the rear of the existing workshop, and the driveway extended then around the front of the building and provided a loop around the buildings. A detention basin was constructed to accommodate the stormwater runoff from this particular project. There was a buffer, it's shown on another plan of this, it was a 20-foot buffer to the rear of this property along the common line, which was then lot 72. In the front of the property, there's a flood hazard area shown on this particular plan, and were probably wetlands also. The buffer was shown on sheet 2. This is just sheet 2 of the plan. It shows plantings to the rear of the property, And as discussed, the plantings have been, disintegrated as excuse me, not done as well as they expected over the period of time.
Okay, and we're proposing certain modifications to this 1986 plan, correct?
Yes, we are.
And you submitted a proposed site plan, last revised May 19th, 2025, correct?
Yes.
Could you explain some of the changes that you're proposing on this plan compared to the 1986 plan?
Okay.
We're going to mark this as A2.
Yes, A2?
A2 is entitled Site Plan, Block 58, Lot 67.02, Tax Map Sheet 12. It's stated revised 5/19/25, prepared by myself. It's a one-sheet site plan. It shows the property. I went out and surveyed the property. I located the existing pavement as it existed in July of 2003. And I also located, in the rear of the property, I located existing trees and so forth. And our landscape architect used this plan to prepare an additional buffer plan. This particular plan shows a parking buffer of 25 feet to the rear of this property. And in conjunction with doing that, we were going to eliminate some of the impervious areas which had encroached on this buffer. This plan also shows possible parking spaces. There are no really delineated parking spaces on this particular property. The two occupants park, where it's convenient, but we went through the calculations and determined that based on floor areas and your ordinance, that 29 parking spaces would be required, and this plan shows 31 parking spaces.
Okay, so it's in excess of the requirement. then.
It is. We don't plan on delineating these parking spaces, but they could be done if necessary. And I'd just like to point out, those parking spaces are to the SNR building is shown as, well, condo A. That's the one addition to the original site plan. That building was the addition. There are 7 spaces to the west of that. There are 4 spaces to the south of what's called the masonry office building. That was shown as a shed on the 86 site plan. And then there's parking spaces that could be created to the rear of what was then the workshop area, and to the east of the masonry building, which was also an addition shown on the 86 site plan.
And there's also outdoor storage shown on this plan?
This plan shows outdoor storage. There's a shed to the south of the SNR property. It's a 250 square foot shed. There's an area designated as outdoor storage. There's various equipment associated with the pool business stored there. There's a storage trailer located on the site, and then to the south of the building, and then to the west of near the west side, east side of the property, there's also a storage trailer.
And this plan also shows a masonry office building of 726 square feet.
Yes.
Okay, and the plan indicates this building shown as the shed on the 1986 site plan. Can you discuss that as well?
Well, I think well, I don't know why it was shown as a shed. It probably was, but it was taken over and converted into an office over the period of time. As a lot of times happens, especially with the older site plans, things get done to properties, and it may or may not have been done according to the code and with local approvals. So that particular property, our building is now being used as an office for Moyle handling.
Okay. I'm going to, is there anything else you want to say about the changes on this May 2025 plan before I get to the engineer's review memo?
No, I think it's self-explanatory. Again, the thrust of our application is for the buffer in the rear. I would like to note too, though, that anything we do pretty much on this site is outside the flood hazard area. Again, with my mouse, the DEP in their infinite wisdom has raised the flood hazard elevation along the Raritan River and all rivers in the state of New Jersey by 3 feet above their previously determined flood elevations. So the flood hazard line on this particular property is at elevation 50.3 and runs pretty much along the front driveway. And it actually includes the detention basin now, and it did not do that before.
Okay, but what we're proposing doesn't impact that, correct?
No, I just wanted to make that clear, that we're outside of environmentally sensitive areas with what we're doing.
Okay. I'm going to direct your attention to, the engineer wrote a memo dated November 24th, 2025, and he made certain comments about stormwater management. He wrote, upon review of the provided project documents and historical aerial imagery, it appears approximately 0.423 acres of lawn area has been removed since 2004, replaced with gravel motor vehicle surface. As such, the additional regulated impervious surface constitutes a major development per 262-2. And he talks about the need to comply with stormwater rules for major development, correct?
That's his comment,
Those are his
yes.
comments. And you've had discussions with him since reviewing those comments, correct? And
Yeah, yes, he has. My initial look at this site, I calculated the impervious area compared to the approved area, and I did make a mistake in the area as shown on the original site plan. So, and as you can see, if you remember the 2006 site plan, it just showed a circular driveway coming around the rear of the property along the south property and then coming around the front. That driveway is still there. However, the area between the buffer and the building, the S&R building, and what was shown as the workshop area, it has been really filled in with millings and stone for additional space. So that is the area that was that Mr. Mayhew picked up as being over and above the original site plan. And I agreed with him that the 0.43 acres was probably a very close number. And he and I had some informal discussions about that. And I have a proposal on how to address that.
Right, and the zone allows 60% maximum impervious surface, correct?
It does, and right now, we're at 36%, so we're still below the allowable coverage in this zone, but we're beyond what was approved in the 86 site plan.
And so you're proposing reducing the impervious coverage from what's shown on the plan that we submitted, correct?
Yes, we're close to 20,000 square feet over the impervious area shown on the 86 site plan. What I want to do is I want to take out about 10,000 square feet of that so that in essence the increase in impervious area will be less than 1/4 of an acre. And by virtue of doing that, we're no longer a major site plan. We're in stormwater project, but we would be a non-major project, which has, we still have to control our runoff, but not to the extent that we would if it was a major.
So you're going to reduce the amount of impervious coverage so that there's less than 1/4 acre added, and then you're going to propose a stormwater plan to the satisfaction of the board engineer, correct?
Correct.
Okay, and you've met with the engineer and had a discussion about that, correct?
Yes.
Do you want to, should we show the proposed plan that you're
Okay.
proposed to address those issues? And I'll mark that as Exhibit A3.
A3.
Yeah, and this is a A3 And I'm going to pass these out because these were not previously provided to the board. But these are revised 12/8/2025.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So this plan marked A3 also shows a further modification to the buffer to the rear where the residential properties are, correct?
Yes, A3 is really my plan that was submitted to the board. However, I've gone beyond taking some of the areas, impervious areas that were within the buffer, and I show areas to be taken out and put back into lawn area, again, so that we're below that 1/4 acre threshold. So just what I'm showing on A3, the hatched areas or the darker areas are where we would be removing pavement on the site, putting back grass or other pervious areas, plantings if necessary, but essentially grass. And then I expanded A3, but I also, in reducing the impervious area, I'm expanding the buffer area from 25 feet to 35 feet. And then A3, it really is a two-sheet set of plan now. The second sheet of A3, again, shows, it's a little bit larger scale. It shows the 35-foot wide buffer, but what it really shows is that I'm taking there are roof leaders now draining to the south of the property from the SNR building and from some of the other portions of the what was called the workshop building. So those roof leaders I am collecting into a pipe. I'm taking that pipe around the building and putting it into a dry well that would be located in the island that's created by the parking access road coming to around the front of the SNR building and to the west of the Moyle, what I would call office building. So we're proposing a dry well there. That dry well is intended to infiltrate the runoff from the roof for storms up to a 100-year storm frequency.
And you said the buffer is 35 feet now?
The buffer will be 35 feet.
So in 1986, our approved site plan is for a 20-foot buffer,
Correct.
and we're now proposing a 35-foot buffer
Correct.
to provide, and that would provide screening from the residential properties, for the property, including the outdoor storage, correct?
Yes, I'll leave it up to Mr. Bira, our landscape architect, to discuss that a little bit more. But I think what that additional 10 feet does is allows us to push the plantings a little bit more into the property and away from the fence. There's an existing 8-foot-high board-on-board fence along our southerly property line that was installed as part of the subdivision behind us.
And that fence impacted the existing plantings, correct?
Yes, it did.
Okay, because it prevented sunlight from getting to them and
That's my understanding,
and
yes.
caused some deterioration there. And what other changes in terms of lawn area or gravel area are in this plan compared to your,
Well, again, I'm taking out about 10,000 square feet of area, and this plan, well, sheet 1 of the plan shows it a little bit clearer, but even sheet 2, you can see that the darker areas are the areas of pavement that we're taking out. And this used to be, as far as I know, a dairy farm. There are 2 silos still on the property. So we're taking out some of the impervious area around the silos. Some of the parking areas were expanded over a period of time, and we're sort of cutting them back to look more like the original approved site plan, especially in the area of the detention basin and around the southeasterly corner of the property where the parking has expanded.
And there are also 2 concrete pads on this plan, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that's for loading and,
Yeah, yes, it is.
going back to the engineer's memo, there are comments about landscaping, but we have a landscape expert here, so we'll defer that to Mr. Biro.
Yes.
Okay. And then there's a section on tree preservation and mitigation. One was that we prepare a demo plan showing existing conditions proposed to be removed, including but not limited to trees 6 inches, DBH or greater, and the mill driveway. Do you have any issues with that?
No, we would comply with the tree preservation and mitigation section in Mr. Mayhew's letter, items 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay. And he also made comments about lighting. Can you address lighting?
Lighting was shown on the approved site plan. It was shown on the first sheet, not as clearly as maybe necessary, but there's triangles shown located on the proposed 6,000 square foot building, and there's like a radii around those things. Those were ISO foot candle lines to show the extent of the lighting. So it shows one on the front of that building, one on the front of the building, one on the rear, and it also shows 2 outdoor lights, one on the proposed building on the easterly side of the property, and then one by that, what was supposed to be the parking area. It was lighting for that area. Now, if we go, I didn't necessarily show all the lighting on my site plan. However, I've taken a look out on the property, and I'll tell you that there's, right now, there's a man door right between behind on the south side of the S&R Pool building by the shed. There's a light over that door. There's a garage door near the center of the building. There's a light over that. It's located approximately 15 feet high. I just approximated that by counting blocks. I don't know if it's 15 or 16. But it is not a shielded light. It's more of an area spotlight. So in discussions with the applicants, we would agree to replace some of those lighting. And actually, when I was out there about a week ago, the area is very dark. I think that they should have some sort of security lighting, and I think they should really upgrade their lighting with LED lights and shield them in accordance with the ordinance, and I think we would do that.
Can you explain why we're not providing the 60-foot buffer? Why that's not possible to provide that on this plan?
Well, if there's 93 feet between the rear of the building, the original building, and I'm calling it masonry building, to the property line. If we give a 60-foot buffer, that really it allows only 33 feet or so in the rear, and the applicant feels that it's not sufficient room to maneuver his equipment and be able to perform his operation efficiently.
Okay, thank you. Do you have anything else you want to add, Mr. Mance?
No.
Okay. I have no more questions for the witness.
Mr. Mayhew.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll refer the board to the letter that the applicant was discussing from our office dated 11 November 2025. And I just wanted to either comment on a few items or confirm what I understand the applicant's agreeing to. First, if you can turn to page 3, at the top of the page, item number 3 is a condition to receive outside agency approvals.
Yes,
Are you in possession of the county planning board letter dated 29 September?
yes, I am.
And I guess two issues come to my attention on this review letter. One of them is the clear site triangle easements that apparently were shown on the 86 drawings, but according to the county, deeds do not exist for those site triangle easements, and the county review letter is requesting an approval be conditioned upon attaining those site triangle easements and filing the easements with the county. Does your applicant agree to meet that condition?
Well, first of all, that we have to deal with the county on that particular condition. The 86 site plan shows site east triangles 60 feet by 36 feet, which really are old-style site triangles. The current thinking in terms of site triangles follows the AASHTO regulations, and the Somerset County Land Development Ordinance suggests that you should be able to have a site line from 15 feet behind the edge of traveled way to a point westerly or easterly that's at least 10 times the posted speed limit, so you'd have to be able to see 400 feet up the road and down the road. First of all, so I don't really agree with dedicating the site triangles as they're shown here, because it just doesn't make sense in the current thought of what site triangles should look like. Second of all, the westerly site triangle is on a piece of property that was originally controlled by the same owner of as lot 67.02, but currently is not the same owner. So that would necessitate us purchasing a site triangle on that property. I'm not sure if we can or will not be able to. My initial investigations into the site lines suggest that probably the site distance that we need to the west would be located completely within the existing right-of-way, because there, on lot 67.01, there was additional dedication to about 36 feet off the center line, so there's sufficient, there's more area that the site triangle could be located in. To the east of the property, we control most of that area, and I think we would clear the trees and so forth. But again, I think in dealing with the county, I would opt to suggest to them that the site triangle be configured more appropriately in accordance with current standards.
Well, it is a county road, Mr. Chairman, and our office would be comfortable with whatever the county agrees on, but I want to make sure there's a condition of approval that you're agreeing to receive county approval, pursue it, and adjust your drawing to reflect whatever easement the county is requiring.
Yes,
And then further, as the county stated, whatever final easements agreed upon, your applicant will clear those site triangles.
yes, we will. I'm sorry.
That's fine with our office. Then under stormwater management, Mr. Chairman, as Jim has stated, we have had informal conversations prior to this meeting to discuss what our office had uncovered, that there had been increases in impervious cover over the years. Our office is comfortable with the applicant's revised suggestion in that they would remove whatever amount of impervious cover is required to remove based on their revised calculations to limit proposed increases to less than a quarter acre from what was prior approved.
Correct.
And as the applicant mentioned, if they do that, then they would fall under the township's non-major stormwater management criteria. And our office is comfortable. Certainly, we haven't reviewed the second part of the applicant's plan, which is talking about collecting roof runoff to a dry well I'm confident that working with the applicant's engineer, we can come up with they can come up with a plan that our office will find approvable. Preliminary analysis shows that these soils are A soils, so there should be some really good infiltration available on site to do some kind of underground dry well or other BMP. I don't want to limit the applicant. I just want to make clear that if we do approve this, I would highly suggest a portion of the dry well include a perforated pipe or plastic arch product to provide some clear area for inspection and review over the years, instead of the whole thing being stone.
I would agree with that.
Okay, I would also request that a soil test be done and witnessed by our office prior to the design.
Okay.
And,
We have to do the witnessing, but I'll contact your office when we do the testing.
and I would request that your office provide an appropriate design of the basin overflow. With those type of conditions, Mr. Chairman, I believe that we could come to an agreement on an appropriate design to address that. As far as landscape comments, I understand the applicant's agreeing to address our review letter. And then under lighting comments, our major concern is the lighting impact to the adjoining neighbors. But as I understand it, you're agreeing to adjust as appropriate existing lighting to provide cutoffs if they don't currently have cutoffs.
That's correct.
Okay,
When?
I'm sorry?
When's the cutoffs?
Well, our office would suggest that that's part of it would go onto your plan, and you would do that work at the time you're doing any other proposed improvements.
Yeah, any revised plan to show the drywall and so forth would have to be submitted to your office, to the planning board, and it will show proposed lighting. It'll show the ISO foot candles for the lights that the applicants will place on the building.
If it's okay with your applicant, we'd like to have one of our lighting engineers from our office at least do at least one nighttime inspection, just to confirm what impacts there might be currently that should be addressed.
Okay, we would agree to that.
Okay. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Coyce?
Ms. Wright, maybe this question's for you. Will there be someone providing testimony as to the nature of the outdoor storage and any noise associated? I just
Yeah.
wasn't sure to ask this witness or not.
Yeah, I have the two property owners who also run the businesses on the property, and they can address those issues. Mr. Chelak and Mr. Levenadis can address that.
Okay,
They
and then I
testify.
believe in Mr. Mayhew's report is also requesting that the conservation easement be put into place for the 35 feet now buffer.
Yeah, as
I
required.
just wanted to make sure that that's being agreed to.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I have no further questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Board members? Okay. So then may I have a motion to open the public, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. If there's anyone in public that would like to come up and ask questions of this witness on his testimony, please come up, state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, good evening. Paul Bukowski, 30 Campbell Road, which is Block 58, Lot 72.08. In relation to the size of the property and the shape that is provided on that site plan, have you developed plans for alternative locations for the current non-compliant outdoor storage, which allow the current ordinance 60-foot buffer requirements to stand? For example, other areas on the property.
No, I have not.
Just speak into the mic when you answer, please.
No, I have not.
Okay, so there's no other additional options that you have proposed outside of what's currently in the site plan?
No, we didn't look into that.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm Mike Cullinane. I live on Block 5801, Lot 2, 12 Dickerson Road. And I think I want to follow on the question, but from a different angle. So, Ms. Wright, Oh, I'm sorry, Ms.
You
Wright,
can also remove the mic from the stand or move it up.
oh, I don't want to do a mic drop here. Okay. So to follow on that question, this variance calls for, it's a C variance on ordinance 188-69A. And is this ordinance, as I understood it, only permits, it doesn't permit, it only permits storage in the sides and the back, is the way I understand it. Is that correct? I think Ms. Wright,
No, it permits outdoor storage as long as it requires a 60-foot buffer.
well, actually, the way I read it was that our ordinance only requires, that it will require it only on the side and the back, which prevents, to follow on the question that was last asked, which prevents it from putting in the front without a variance. We're actually here seeking a compromise.
I'm not sure that I understand your
We
question.
would like it in the front.
You want the,
Talking to the mic, counselor.
the,
We would like the storage in the front, not the back. But I believe that would require a variance also. So you did a lot of work. I want to acknowledge that, but it's all constrained to the back.
yeah, the back is the, and, you know, as our experts will explain, the back is the appropriate location for the storage that we're proposing, given the circulation and the
Because the
location of the
ordinance
buildings.
forces that.
Let her answer the
And
question, sir.
You know, the issue is, will there be appropriate screening? And we are proposing, you know, we're proposing a 35-foot buffer for the, you know, for the storage in the rear of the property, which, you know, and we'll have our landscape designer discuss the trees and the staggering of the vegetation that's being proposed back there. And that's an appropriate way of dealing with the storage, and one that serves the purposes of the ordinance and of the business needs of the property owners, as well as the concerns of the properties to the rear.
Okay, let me return to my question for you. Is your read of the ordinance such that it requires you to force this to the sides and the back of the property?
Is that a question for the engineer? Because the attorney's not under oath.
Okay, engineer? Is that what the ordinance does? Does it require
Into the
you-
mic, sir.
Is the ordinance such that it's requiring you to do this improvement on the sides or the back, and because of your constraints with the depth of the property, it's forcing this variance that you've come to the board for?
I'm not going to interpret the ordinance. I'd just like to say that because of the development of the property to date, there is not very much room on the side of the SNR pool building to put storage.
I agree.
There's not much room on the easterly side to
I
put
agree.
storage. There,
Let me stop you all.
Okay.
This is not a back and forth, what
Okay,
you agree
sorry.
with or don't agree with. This is testimony for purposes of a transcript.
Sorry.
So if you want him to answer the question,
I'm hoping you will.
thank you.
there is a grassed area to the front of what was called the workshop, between that and the stormwater management basin. However, that is where the septic system for the property is located, so that's not a viable area for storage. The island that I'm going to put the detention basin in has a lot of trees on there. I've configured the dry well to save trees, but I do not see putting storage in that particular area either. And anything further to above, you know, into the flood hazard area is not a viable option also. So in my mind, that leaves the rear of the property as the most viable place to put the storage.
Okay. I think that's the best answer I could ask of at this moment. Thank you.
Hi, thanks for the opportunity to talk. Paul Candon, Block 58, Lot 72.05, 24 Campbell. My property is one that directly is adjacent to this one. One of the questions I had is if this variance were approved, what noise would be allowable to be generated from it? So what are the hours, and more particularly, what kind of operations would be allowed? What kind of noise are they allowed to generate? Because I think one of the concerns of the neighbors has been like the amount of noise, particularly backup alarms that have been going all day long. So I was just wondering what this variance would allow for as far as noise generating operations would go.
I'm not sure if the engineer, you're prepared to comment on it?
No, I'm
or
not.
do we-
The owners of the property, I
Owners
think,
will-
would be a better source of information to you.
Folks, just for everybody's edification who's here tonight from the public, who may or may not be familiar with the process, when the board opens it to the public, it's to ask questions of the witnesses relative to the testimony they gave. I don't believe the engineer gave testimony relative to the variances being sought. I believe council has indicated she's calling a planner and possibly members of, owners of the business who may be more able to answer the question you have at the appropriate time. So I understand everybody's coming up with their questions. Be aware, at least at this portion of the hearing, that the questions are to the witness as to the testimony the witness provided.
Got it. It had come up before, so it made me think. All right,
Not
thank
a
you.
not a problem. That's, well,
And then they get a last bite of the apple.
Hi, Paul Bukowski again, 5872.08. This question is about the shed, the 250 square foot shed that is being requested. Is this shed currently on the property today, physically?
Yes, it is.
Okay, was that shed approved in any other site plan prior to this?
No, it was not.
So does that shed, if approved, sit inside of that 60-foot buffer that would be required as per the ordinance 18869A?
It would be very close to that line. I don't have an actual dimension. I could scale it.
I think Mr. Mayhew.
Okay, so it wouldn't be clear as to what the impact is today of that building.
Maybe I can help out. Mr. Mance, it might be helpful to put the site plan back on the screen because there's a lot of Are we talking about the shed that's labeled 250 square foot in the upper left corner?
Yes, sir.
For the public and boards, notice that's approximately 71 feet off the rear property line. Does that look
That
close to
looks
you,
reasonable
Mr.
to me, and I located that shed by field survey.
So it'd be outside the 60-foot buffer.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the public of this witness? Okay. So maybe you look like you want to,
I did,
Okay.
if I may.
please do.
In order to be proactive, I've heard what may not be the last of concerns about noise. And when the applicant continues to have more testimony on it and the board's deliberating, I wanted to bring to the board's attention that generally a 20 or 30-foot wide landscape buffer is not going to have a significant effect on noise mitigation. If it's a serious enough issue, one thing to consider is recently we approved a PSE&G metering station in the southern part of town. And to mitigate the sound to the adjoining residential unit, PSE&G placed a sound padding on their fence, along that line. And I believe there's fencing along this line now, so maybe that's something to consider. It won't 100% eliminate it, but it can have a positive impact on the sound
But I
transmission.
don't know, I don't believe the property owners own the fence.
Yeah, that fence might be
Because it
the joiners.
because it said it was erected when the development went in, so I'm assuming it's part of perhaps a homeowners association.
could be. Just throwing out that idea that that may be
They may
one.
need to erect their own fence to,
Yeah, I was going to point out that, it's a give and take, and if the owners, and everybody agrees to it, that's fine, but the fence is on the adjoining property.
Okay, thank you.
Hello again. Paul Bukowski, 587208. This question is regarding the lighting that is being proposed. What is the height of the lights?
As I mentioned, they're 15 or 16 feet high. The ordinance requires 15 feet high. So we're going to most likely replace the existing lights with LED lights, and they will be no higher than 15 feet.
And would these lights then clear whatever landscape buffering is being proposed?
I don't know what you're asking. Does it clear the landscape?
Meaning, are they higher than the trees that are going to be planted in the buffer?
Well, they'll have cutoffs so that the light shines down to the ground and not out.
I understand, but I'm asking about the height, whether when they are on, will they be shining over the tops of the buffers of the trees?
No, 'cause the
No, you're not going to see direct light over tops of the trees.
Okay, and that would be, how would that be enforced or controlled?
I don't think he understands what downlighting is.
If I could help.
Yep.
Our office will review the lighting proposed by the applicant, and this happens on every single application. So our office will make sure it's appropriate height, appropriate cutoff, and appropriate illumination.
Okay, and by cutoff, you mean hours of operation
Oh,
for
I'm
the
sorry.
light? or-
No, cutoff meaning how it affects the throw of
Okay.
the illumination. So when you hear the term cutoff, it means it's blocking it from whatever direction you want to block.
Okay, and this would take into consideration that the residences are 2 stories and there's upper-level living quarters there as well?
The simple answer is no. I mean, we're going to make sure the lighting meets the ordinance criteria, which doesn't really take into effect what adjoining properties look like.
Okay.
Now, the plantings they're proposing are not going to be 15 feet tall the first year. So the fixture itself will be above the landscape. But the projection of the illumination will be such that it is not projecting over the landscaping. And that our office will make sure.
Okay, thank you.
I do have one comment or question. Since we were asking about the outdoor storage area, the only dimension there is 350 feet, 350 square feet. And, oh, no, I'm sorry, that's a storage container. So I don't see the dimensions on that storage area to know if 60 foot is an issue, if it's at 55 feet right now, or, so I just don't, the dimensions of that area, can it be adjusted to meet that variance? I just don't see the numbers on the drawing.
I didn't place numbers on that drawing. Let me scale from my full-scale drawing and see what I had drawn.
Yeah, I don't see the dimension. Oh, I see. It's pretty damn close. It's pretty damn close. And it's really just here, right?
The outdoor storage area as drawn on my plan, Exhibit A3, I believe, is 65 feet to the rear property line.
That lowest corner to the property line is
Is
65 feet?
65 feet.
Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay.
Thanks.
Okay. We can move to your next witness.
Okay, my next witness is Russ Chilak.
Does it have to be from property?
And we're going to swear you in.
You swear any testimony you give tonight is going to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Spell your name.
Russ Chelak, Chelak.
Mr. Chilak, you're the owner of Crane Farm LLC, correct?
Correct.
And that's one of the owners of the property at issue, correct?
Yes,
And you're also the owner of one of the businesses that operates on the site, is that correct?
correct.
And what's the name of that business?
Moy Handling Systems, M-O-Y-E.
And Moy Handling Systems operates towards the front of the property, correct?
Correct.
And can you describe your business?
We're a distributor of overhead cranes and hoists for factories, power plants, military bases, water treatment plants, things of that nature.
And describe your operations on the property, like what you're doing on the property.
Right. We're not open to the public. Our business hours are 7 to 3:30. The guys arrive in the morning, and they leave in company vans to service or install equipment at our customers' facilities.
And how many employees do you have on the property?
Currently have 17,
Okay. And how long have you been operating at that site?
2013.
Okay, and you leased the property and then bought it?
Correct.
Okay, around 2015 or 2016, correct?
Yes,
And you have an office on the property,
we do.
and that's it's designated as a shed on the original site plan, I believe?
Yes.
Okay, and when you bought that property, or when you started leasing it, was that office already heated and plumbed?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so you didn't, it was used as an office when you moved into the property, correct?
Correct. I share the engineer's thinking that we're not sure why it's called a shed. This was actually the original office for the farm. All the power for the farm came in through this building. It's a block and it's a block construction building with concrete floor, and it had electricity, it had plumbing, it had office areas, it had shelving. And I saw photos quite a few years ago of the interior. It had thick insulation, windows. It was the office for the farm facility.
And when you bought the property, you applied for a zoning permit, correct?
Yes,
And you received a zoning permit, correct?
correct.
Okay, and you currently require some outdoor storage, correct?
We do.
Okay, and could you describe that?
Well, we have our vans and pickup trucks that our employees take to the job sites. And then we have specialty tools required to do our work. During the course of doing OSHA inspections and OSHA load tests on cranes and hoists, we use a variety of lifting beams and lifting weights. These basically tools of the trade are loaded onto trailers and trucks with forklifts that are also stored outside, and that's about it.
And you understand that the buffer is going to be 35 feet?
Correct.
From your property, and that's acceptable to you, correct?
Yes.
And do you have any comments about the concerns about noise on the property?
The noise consists of people getting into the vehicles, 90% of it in the morning, and then dropping them off in the evening. Well, afternoon, 3:30 is punch-out time. And I would say twice a week, we have a delivery or shipment where we're loading stuff onto a trailer to go to our customer's facility.
All Right, and you have operation...
Closer to the mic, Counselor.
Okay, sorry. Right, and it's necessary to your business to have, I mean, that's the way your business operates, correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, and it's a light industrial business, correct?
Correct.
Which is permitted in the zone?
Yes.
And it's a commercial property?
Yes.
Correct, and it was commercial when you bought it? And has an existing site plan on it, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I have no further questions for the witness.
Mr. Mayhew.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is your operation, we heard some concerns from some of the homeowners about noise and activity and storage in the rear. Does your operation currently store material in the rear?
Yes, we have our company vans, we have load-test weights and load-test lifting beams. And I can add to the noise question, if you like.
Sure.
Specific mention was made of backup alarms. We used to have a tenant, and when they moved in, there was several weeks of deliveries of their equipment, and that's when the backup alarm complaint was lodged. When the tenant moved in, they have since moved out, and there will be no more backup alarms.
So in your normal daily operations, you are not using a piece of equipment that triggers a backup alarm?
Correct.
I have no other questions, Mr. Chairman.
Of course.
Good evening, Mr. Chalock.
Good evening.
The area that you would be having your outdoor storage is, it's the one area in the rear of the building, correct?
Correct.
And it's the same area that the other business would also be keeping some of their outdoor storage? Is that just for your business?
They're separated, correct?
They're separated?
Yes.
Okay. And could you go more into the nature of what you're storing that's associated with your business in terms of the height of them, of the materials and anything like that?
Right. The average load test weight is approximately 14 inches tall maximum. The lifting beams are 18-inch height maximum, pretty much.
Okay. So you won't have anything that's taller than the building or in this area?
The only thing taller than the building would be the storage container that is used by S&R, the shed used by S&R, and then we have a regular trailer on wheels that is taller than the 8-foot fence.
Okay. And then the equipment that's, how do you move the equipment? What kind of equipment do you use to, and like, is there noise associated with that?
Well, these are fork trucks with very small, relatively small engines, 60, 65 horsepower, far less than the average automobile. They're quiet.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then is there a specific time that you might be using those forklifts to move materials, or is it any time during your business hours?
It's usually in a 15, 20-minute, maybe a half-hour span in the morning, or at the end of the day, closer to 3 o'clock,
Okay.
3:30.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Board members?
Mr. Chilak, so I'm looking at the plan here, and I'm just trying to understand which building is yours. Is your building the one, I guess, the furthest to the west? Looks like a big flat building with like maybe some solar lights on the top or something, or?
Well, I guess it's best to describe us as being the front buildings. or the front portions of the buildings.
Okay.
So it would be in front of the parking lot in the lower left corner.
Okay, where the masonry office building is, that one is your office, right? And then there's a big building behind it, that big square building? I don't know.
Okay,
On the plan, they're referred to as condos, condo A, B, C, D. Is that what
Yeah.
we're speaking about?
okay. Yep.
Yes, and it's.
So
it's
we're
rep-
condos B and C.
Condos B and C. Okay, so you're on that side of the property?
Yes.
Okay. So is it fair to say that you're basically, your people come in, load up their trucks, and then they're gone, and the buildings are pretty empty during the day? There's not a lot of activity, it's just your crews come in the morning, get loaded up, leave, and then come back at 3:30, punch out and leave?
Correct. 95% of our activity is exactly that.
So you're not really manufacturing anything on the site, or you're just, you have storage there, you get ready to go do your work and come back?
Correct.
Okay. Are you Monday to Friday?
Monday through Friday, yes.
Monday through, no weekend hours?
No, not open to the public.
Okay, and now obviously no evening hours because you're just going out and doing all your work is on site somewhere?
Correct.
Okay, and you're using regular passenger vans and that kind of stuff, like trucks?
Pickup trucks, yes.
Okay. What do you do for, and I don't know if you guys share this, for snow, and when you have a snow removal and stuff, contractors come in and plow, where does all that material go generally? Because it looks like there's a lot of stuff on this site, so I can imagine if it's a snow plowing nightmare.
Well, given the nature of the climate recently, we've basically only plowed the fire truck lanes. And after a day or two or three, the rest of the snow is melted, and we have access to everything that we need.
So it's just enough to get in and out. That's all you really have to worry about.
Correct. And it suited us fine ever since 2013.
Okay.
There's not an issue of having to accumulate piles of snow, like on a large parking lot or something like that.
And obviously, the wintertime, the pool business is pretty slow, I'm sure. There's
Yeah.
not a lot of people. They don't even show up. All right. And do you get deliveries during the day that people have to be there, like UPS or anything? Or are they, you guys, because you're basically go out and stuff, there's not a lot of receiving being done?
UPS, Amazon, Walmart, they'll come in about once, maybe twice a day.
Just drop and leave? 'Cause-
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
Yes.
You mentioned earlier that you were renting one of the units.
Correct.
Earlier,
Yes.
and that's where the
Angelo?
noise are coming.
Yes.
The noise is coming from. Is that unit currently occupied now by your company?
Correct.
Do you intend to lease it out in the future or keep it occupied?
We have no present plans to lease it out. It just wasn't worth it.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
We're open to public, so anyone from the public that would like to question this witness on his testimony, again, please come up, state your name and address for the record, please.
My
Get
name's
close
Mike
to the mic.
Cullinane. I'm at Block 5801, Lot 2, 12 Dickerson.
Closer to the mic.
Oh, I'm sorry again.
You're a rock star.
All right, yes. Mike Cullinane.
You just have to use your address, you don't have to block them
Oh,
out.
okay, thank you. 12 Dickerson Road. Mr. Shellock, you had mentioned about your prior tenant. They were the source of the noise. So, and there's no noise now from your point of view because we have nothing backing up or whatever. So in the future, though, when we have a storage shed, will you be using forklifts or any kind of equipment like that we couldn't expect noise to come from?
That storage shed is belonging to the other company that's on the site. I wouldn't have any
I thought you said it was shared.
information on that.
Okay, I'm confused by that.
Maybe you're confused.
I believe you said it was shared. Did I mishear you?
Is it shared?
No, it's not shared, no.
Okay, so that question would have to go to SNR? I can hold
Correct.
off. Okay,
I
I'll-
think,
I'll
excuse me,
come
I'm
back.
sorry, I think what I heard, we were talking about the storage pad, not the shed.
Oh,
So you
okay.
said shed, which I could see being only SNR, but the storage pad,
This
yeah.
building in the back here.
Ask him again.
Okay, yes, sir. So, yes, what I was asking about is this part of the diagram right here.
Right.
Right?
Yes.
My understanding was that, that's the storage shed in question, and what I'm asking about is in the future, you're going to have materials in here. I thought I understood it that it would be Moy using that?
No, that's, my statement was that our storage areas are separated. You're pointing to the SNR storage
Okay.
area.
So you have no dog and hunt with the storage in the back of the building, which is really the main issue that we're concerned about.
Right, if you're speaking of the delineated storage area there, we do not store any materials there.
Okay. I do thank you, John, for asking what the dimensions are, because it's ambiguous and hard to judge. Thank you.
Paul Bukowski, 30 Campbell Road. Mr. Chilak, thank you for coming here and having this conversation with us.
Thank you, too.
So part of to follow on to Mike's question about the storage area and the use of it, just for clarification, is this a shared storage outdoor area, or is this going to be only an outdoor storage area that will be used by SNR?
Our storage areas are separated. The delineated outdoor storage area is used by SNR exclusively.
Okay, thank you. So I'll defer that other question then. The other question I had was around your loading and unloading practices. Currently, we have noticed that there are a lot of idling trucks back there during the loading and unloading, which causes diesel fumes and other particulates to come up and come into the residents' backyards, especially during the warmer months when we try to have our doors open or windows open. We smell the fumes in the morning and during closing time. Is that your standard practice to idle your trucks as you unload and load them?
We don't have any diesel trucks.
Well, okay, maybe not diesel, but any kind of fuel. Do you idle your trucks that you're unloading and unloading? Because we smell some sort of fumes.
All our vehicles are state inspected for emissions. I'm not aware of any vehicle that we have that has a fume problem.
That's not my question, Mr. Chilak. My question was, do you idle your trucks as you load and unload them? Is the engine running while you're loading and unloading them?
So we don't have any trucks. We have
Your vehicles then?
vans. Our vehicles are gasoline vehicles, and yeah, they're idling at some point.
Okay, so they idle as you load and unload them?
Sure.
Okay. And is that a permitted use in the I-2 zone?
I don't understand the question.
Is that a permitted use? Are you allowed to idle them as you're loading and unloading? Is that part of the standard operations?
It's a legal question. Mr. Chilak is not a lawyer, but, the use that is occurring is a permitted use in the I-2 zone. We're not here to evaluate the use. It's a light industrial zone.
Okay, thank you for clarifying.
If I may, Mr. Chilak, could you just clarify fully exactly where your storage is on the property, 100%?
Right.
The
So-
outdoor storage?
Yep. That would be the area marked as concrete pad, and also the storage trailer.
Okay, so the concrete pad that is 1,060 square feet, and then the storage trailer that is 310 square feet?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
excuse me, is that also the concrete pad by the silos that is 390 square feet?
That is primarily a access for a double width door.
Mr. Chairman, just for the purpose of the site plan, it's going to be really important if the board goes forward and approves this, that there's no question as to where the outdoor storage is delineated. So it's going to be really important that it's noted on the plan exactly where all outdoor storage is, because in the future, it's going to be very difficult to know from an enforcement standpoint of where the outdoor storage is unless it's indicated, because, you know, right now, showing the concrete pads, and that's just not going to be enough information. And perhaps your planner will address that as well.
Okay.
Thank
Okay.
you. I'm sorry.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, if I could,
Yeah, Mr. Mayhew.
so I understand the concrete pad in the rear, that's 1,060 square feet is your storage, and then as I move around the site near the silos, that trailer's yours. What about in front of the masonry building, condo C, it says concrete pad 1618 square feet. Is that storage, or is it just access to the building?
That's storage also.
And that's associated with your operation?
Correct.
As Mr. Coyce was saying, I think it's important for the board and also for his office to know what they're regulating. Are there other exterior areas that we should label on here that you're utilizing for exterior storage?
No. That would be it.
Instead of putting you on the spot, though, I would just have the engineer double check and give Mr. Mayhew anything that you should change for our records, okay?
Sure.
Okay.
Because I think Mr. Coyce's office is going to want the next plan that comes in, that these are labeled on the plan.
Correct. And as well, it kind of came up before, but looking at the code, there is a prohibition on storage in the front yard. So if storage is going to be proposed in the front yard, that's a different variance that would be requested. That's not something that we would have been able to pick up in our review to know. So the applicant needs to make it clear on what they're really asking for, and if it's covered within what they've already requested.
And
Yeah.
Ross, maybe this is going to come up between the neighbors and the board at some point. Can any of these currently exterior storage areas in the rear in particular, could any of those be relocated away from the residential areas and bring them forward?
Not that I'm aware of.
And is that because of the location is necessary in relationship to, say, doors or other loading areas associated with the buildings?
Correct.
Thank you.
Paul Bukowski, 30 Campbell. Mr. Chilak, just one last question around, just getting some more clarity around your storage trailer that you have on the property. Is that something that is meant as a permanent storage, or is that something that will be moved around on the property? Like loaded and unloaded, moved on and off the property?
That's its parking spot.
So it will move over time and come back, like leave and come back and get unloaded and unloaded?
In that parking spot.
In that
That's
parking
its
spot?
place, yes.
Okay, and so we can expect operational noise during that time when you're unloading and loading and moving that semi-tractor trailer back around the roadway there?
Well, it hasn't been moved in 8 years, so I can't anticipate it'll be moved anytime in the near future.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, my name is Mariusz Grabowski, 32 Campbell Road, and I'm going to ask a question on behalf of my mom, had a knee replacement So she couldn't make me, she asked me to ask a couple of questions. I have a question, Mr. Kilak. Have you, I mean, from the testimony, it seems everything's so organized on your property. Have you had any complaints from the neighbors about disarray at the property? Have you had any municipal complaints over the last few years?
I am there virtually every day from 7 to 3:30. We have never had a single neighbor come in and complain about anything. I have received phone calls from a neighbor that complained about a tree that fell onto their property, but it was from the adjoining lot. We directed them to the owner of that property. And perhaps we had another complaint about a tree falling towards the east end of the property. That person called and asked for our insurance company, and we gave that information to them. Those are the only complaints that I can recall.
There was no complaints from the township?
We have had complaints from the township that have been resolved.
That's what I'm, can you explain the nature of the complaints? What were the complaints that were eventually resolved?
It was the backup alarms.
Because how about the way the things, the large piece beams, and they were like laying all over the property? Have you had any complaints about the dumpster rodents? Have you had any? Have you heard of any of those complaints from the township?
We have not.
You have, and I agree with the gentleman here that my mom. Well, there was at one point, now everything's cleaned up with the property, but at one point to the right of the warehouse, there was a lot of beams, dumpsters, and it was for a long period of time, it was like a disarray. And my concern is, and I agree with the gentleman here, Mr. David Coyce, that there should be a restricted area where some of the storage is allowed, I'm hoping that's not the back of the property. If it was the front of the property, would be a lot better for the residents, because sometimes those pieces of equipment were there for months and months, and if it's 25 feet behind somebody's fence, it's really detrimental to the property value, especially since taxes have have gone up, and my parents are paying $20,000 or $19,000 for their property taxes, and they have to look at large piece of equipment in the back of their property. And I agree, you have to store it somewhere, but maybe there could be some kind of resolution to the side of the property, the way it's been for the last few years, or the front of the property closer to the road, because there's some trees and that really I think the variance would really negatively affect the property value in the back. And as I said, you have to keep it somewhere, but maybe move it farther away from the fence and keep it front of the building, or maybe side of the building. Thank you.
Mike Cullinane, 12 Dickerson Road. Mr. Chilak, so my understanding is your business, basically your folks come in, they check in, and they go off-site. In planning for this storage space, Was there any consideration for making room in condos B and C? Because there's no one there. And it's a big building. I've been your neighbor for 31 years. I'm just saying, it's a pretty large building.
I'm sorry, the question is?
Have you considered the outdoor storage area on the inside and on any of these condos, A, B, or C?
Did you say that the inside is vacant?
Well, I was asking you, was it considered? I didn't say vacant.
We have no vacant room in any of the buildings.
So there was no possible way of doing it on the inside? It's all office space?
Yes, the inside is full. There's no vacant area to bring in the outside materials.
You didn't want to convert the silos or anything like that?
Convert the silos?
For storage?
Well,
Are they
storage-
used?
Silos
I'm
are used
just trying to be
for-
creative.
I'm sorry?
I'm just trying to be creative. Creative.
Right. Silos are used for storing flowable materials, and we don't deal with any flowable materials.
It's your property.
Our tools of the trade are very large, or very heavy, low test weights and lifting beams.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Mariusz Grabowski, again, 32 Campbell Road. I do have pictures of how the property looks directly from behind my parents' house, from the deck, if the board wants to look at these pictures. And, you know, from the testimony, it seems like the areas like behind the warehouse is so narrow that there's like literally no place to turn. And if you look at these pictures, there's plenty of
Sorry, right now, it's just questions of the
Okay,
witness.
okay. So,
Unless he wants to show Mr. Chilak the picture.
Yeah, right.
sure, Mr. Sherlock, do you agree with me that there would be place on the side to, to accommodate some of your equipment on the side where it used to be, closer to here, rather than moving it to closer to the fence? Can it be accommodated?
You asked him a question.
I believe this is a picture of the adjoining lot. It's not a picture of our lot.
Oh, yes, it is. No, this is your warehouse in the back.
The property adjoining this fence appears to be the next lot.
Well, but to the right of here, is this your warehouse here? Is this your warehouse here with the cars next to it?
No, it is not.
So that's property that doesn't belong to you that he's referring to?
Right, the lot adjacent to the fence of that house is the adjoining lot, not our lot, and the building that can be seen in the distance is S&R's building.
So
It's not our building.
So we're in reference to this. Where's your lot in reference to this point of view?
Our building can't be seen in this photo.
Well, but as you can see here, it would be very detrimental if you either way, if it's not your building, if you move it, if you move your equipment literally 20, 25, 35 feet from the fence.
He's over here looking this way. Block
This will be here,
block
looking over
58.
here. Okay.
Yeah.
So Block 58, Lot 6701 is not your lot, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Your photo appears to be from Block 58. which is opposite the adjoining property. It's not our property. The buildings that can be seen in the distance are S&R buildings. It's not my building.
So your building's to the left of that building?
No, it would be in the back of that. It can't be seen in this photo.
So we're in the back, moving towards the road or moving toward the properties here?
I
Your
don't
building.
understand your question.
Well, so where in reference, where would your building be in reference to this picture? You said in the
Sir?
back of the property, would it be here or would
Can you
it be
show him on
here?
the map there? Maybe it's just easier just to show him on your map there where he is.
Well, in your photo, it would be behind what can be seen here. What can be seen here is S&R trucks, and I believe the corner of the S&R building. So our building would be in back of that, out of the sight.
Why don't you show him on
This
your
photo.
plan there where he is, where you are?
So I think you're here. This is S&R, and we're over here.
So this is here.
And this is a commercial property.
See, this is
next
somebody
to it.
else's property.
And this is S&R.
That's S&R, and our buildings are in back of that. I think the two trees that you're pointing to in the corner of the photo are these trees, but most of your property is the lot next door.
Which
We
is
don't
also-
have any,
Can
we
I-
don't store any
do you have
materials
another-
here.
Do you have another copy of this?
I don't.
And the properties adjoining are commercial.
Correct.
So make sure, so I just want to make sure, so, okay, so this is, and your building would be, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Paul Dukowski, 3rd at Campbell Road. So, Mr. Chilak, first of all, we want to be cooperative as your neighbors, right? We want to make sure that you have the sufficient space and the capabilities to run your business how you'd like to run it. We, on the other side, don't want to see the storage from the south side. So the question, sorry, let me get to the question. What we've done here from a community perspective is develop some alternatives as to where we think some areas should be considered on the property itself. Mr. Chilak, this, if you could take a look at this picture right here, would you agree that the area circled in black is your storage area? And I could hand this out to the rest of the board if they would like
You
to.
know, I guess
Yeah, I
I'm
would-
going to object to this.
Good
because-
idea. And we can mark this as P1 for the public.
But does he need to,
Should I
Sworn
approach
in?
and?
What?
do we need to swear him in? As to who?
Not
just
at the
asking
moment,
questions.
Not until we see why don't you provided a copy to the council, Mr. Chilak, you now need to provide it to the board so they know what we're all talking about here, rather than having these private conversations, unless you want to have an off-the-record private conversation off this record.
Michael, how you doing? All right. You know what I may suggest? We're going to take a break. Why don't you guys have a conversation, and then we'll reconvene and see where we're at.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so what is it, 9 o'clock? I can't even, so we'll reconvene at 10 after.
You can send it to me. It's all your fault, Michael.
There we go, now it comes back. All right. Wingspan time again. There we go.
So,
Okay, we're back in session.
yeah,
Who did we
Mr.
lose?
Mr.
He took a seat
Chairman, I
over
was going to
there.
request,
Actually, we lost our planner. All right, well, that's right, Sam's the 40 under 40. Let's go.
I was going to ask to bring back the engineer to discuss this document P1, which is a proposed alternative method of storing on the property, and he'll explain his
And-
thoughts on that.
And
if I
just
can.
remind you, still under oath.
Okay.
And actually, my first question, though, was,
I have a copy of P1, yes.
okay, so may I ask the question now? Thank you. So Paul Bukowski, 30 Campbell Road, just so we have it on record. Originally, this question was for Mr. Chilak, who was up here, but he sat down. So I'm not sure if the engineer can answer this question, but the area that I had circled in black with my black pen here, is that currently the outdoor storage that is utilized by Mr. Chilak's business, or is that used by S&R Pools?
The black is Mr. Chilak's business.
Okay. And the red is S&R Pools?
That is correct.
And each of those two storage areas will be exclusively used by their respective business, meaning there will be no mixed storage. Some of Mr. Chilak's stuff in the red square, some of S&R Pool stuff in the black circled area.
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay. Now, again, based on what we see here, are there alternative areas that can be developed in order to move the storage out from view of the adjoining neighbors and put on the other side of the building, given that the lot is not an irregular shape, pretty wide, and over 5 acres in size?
Sir, why don't we stick to the question, is there available area outside where there's...
Yes, sir. Yes. Is there available area outside of what is currently being used as outdoor storage?
There is available area, but I don't believe that it's viable. Your Exhibit P1 shows alternate area 1, which is located, as I'm indicating on my plan, this is Exhibit A2, I believe. The septic system is located here. The loading, the doors and so forth for one of Mr. Chilak's buildings are in the front, and there's also doors in the back. For him to bring materials, well, he stores materials in the front now, but we don't want to store materials on the septic system. There's possible small area here, but I don't think moving his weights and so forth to the area just to the west of where the septic system is viable, because he has to use forklifts and so forth to get the material to his trucks. Alternate area A2 is the island area west of Mr. Chilak's office building. First of all, there's a fire hydrant in that area. I think if we go to the exhibit, I forget which the exhibit this is. A4?
Which one are you looking at?
The proposed.
That would be
the-
A3.
This is
A3.
Yeah.
If we go to A3, the island where you're suggesting that the alternative areas are, we have a bunch of trees, we have stormwater proposed in that area. Doesn't say that we can't move it somewhat, but that area is way outside of where the buildings and everything although the work is concentrated, we don't believe that it's viable for the operation to have to store stuff in the front of the building and then come back and so forth.
Okay, so would you say that while technically viable options exist, it's a matter of convenience or a less convenient area for their operations?
I would say it's not, I don't believe, it is less convenient, but I don't believe it's a viable solution.
Okay, but there have not been any studies or additional designs or planning done in order to determine whether those are truly viable or not viable areas?
It's more of an operational issue. I think that you have to ask the owners of these two.
Okay, so
I was asked to address your Exhibit P1 in my engineering judgment. The areas that you've outlined, alternate A1 and A2, are not viable. Again, because of the septic system location and because of the wooded island.
Okay. So I guess, again, my original question was for Mr. Chilak, but he's not up here, so you've answered my questions. Thank you.
Are you planning on recalling Mr. Chilak?
Yeah, I would, if there's no further questions for Mr.
No,
Mance.
I've got a,
You go first.
you sure?
I'll defer to you. You may say my
Okay.
question, and I will
Because-
ask.
When I'm trying to compare, what I see on the plan is I see a lot of parking spaces, but it appears we're going to be using it for the storage. So I'm a little confused as to what's going on here, because to me, those are parking spaces. They're not designated storage areas.
As I testified, we showed parking spaces to show that the amount of parking that was originally approved on the 86 site plan could fit on this particular site if we needed to delineate those. We don't plan on delineating those spaces, so they're used for storage or other operations in lieu of parking. If we needed to provide parking, that's the areas that they would be in.
Mr. Coyce, do they need to delineate these parking spaces? Is that a requirement of?
Yes, I mean,
Does
Mr.
not-
Chairman,
Go ahead, sorry.
I'm concerned because the plans that we have, if going forward as to how site plans work, if you're going to delineate and show where the parking spaces are, they could be gravel, and that's fine, but for site plan purposes, that's an area that would be used for parking and for parking only. On the prior plan, it shows where employee parking is. It gets into a little bit more detail, but I'm concerned that there's areas that are now being proposed for outdoor storage that were not clearly delineated on these plans. And when we were doing our review, we couldn't advise the board as to that. And as we're getting testimony right now, that this area showing the parking lot is not really a parking lot. So I have some concerns here.
Is what's shown on the plan the minimum required parking spaces?
I believe what they're showing,
Or is it in excess?
I believe what they're, let's see here, I could look at their calculations. But they could show it on the plan, but if they're testifying that they're not actually going to use it for that, then they're deficient in parking.
I'm saying that we're not going to delineate those parking spaces. If we need them, then we would delineate them. If you want us to exclude that area, storage from those areas, we can.
Let's go back a question. How many parking spaces are necessary for the site?
Our calculations
No,
show,
I'm asking Mr. Coyce that question, or Mr. Mayu. I'm not.
It's going to depend on the square footage and of each of the uses.
Based on the current uses and the current square footage, how many parking spaces are necessary for the site?
Let's see.
Mark?
Mr. Coyce, there's a tabulation at the top center of
A2.
2.
Mark, if you can answer the question, you can.
And the tabulation shows that 29 spaces are required, and there's a note that 31 spaces, including 2 ADA spaces, are provided.
And of those 31 delineated spaces, how many of them are going to be parking, and how many of them you propose for storage?
Well, are you asking me, Mr. Bernstein? Or are
I'm
you asking the
asking you,
applicant?
based on the testimony you've heard and where they've delineated, how many spaces appear to be, based on testimony in the plans, how many parking spaces are in fact not parking spaces?
Well, based on the testimony, the 10 spaces delineated to the rear left are also being described as outdoor storage. And the aerial exhibit shown as P1 also shows it currently being used as outdoor storage, which would be blocking those 10 spaces.
Would also be blocking the 7 behind the 10? Because I see, 10 and 7 in
You're
that corner.
correct, Mr. Chairman. There was an exhibit, A3 submitted tonight, where some porous pavement would be removed and lawn provided. And in that activity, the 7 spaces proposed at the front left of condo C would be removed and placed in the rear,
Right.
again, in an area that currently looks like storage. And then also based on the aerial P1 and the aerials from our office, those 7 spaces at the front is currently occupied by storage. And we find that to be true as well as the 7 spaces shown on the far right, where the plan north are.
We require parking spaces to be delineated on plans, do we not?
On plans, yes.
Okay. So this is based on what's delineated on the plans that both of your offices reviewed prior to this evening? Correct? Yeah.
Well, it was our office's understanding, if the plan shows parking spaces, those areas would be cleaned up, paved, and utilized as parking as part of the approval.
Right, that was
our assumption.
That was our impression. Because parking as an accessory use, you have that on the site plan. That's the expectation that everyone would have from the town to the neighbors. If an area is designated for parking, that's what would take place in those locations, and
that's-
nothing else.
And that's what we're proposing. It's being used for parking. We don't know the date of the photograph.
Let's not worry about P1. Let's talk about the existing situation. This is B3, A3 is up on the screen right now.
Les testified that his storage is here.
Are there uses being proposed here that are not, well, we had it up there a minute ago, that are now no longer going to be used for parking spaces?
I think the testimony had to do with the concrete pad, not the parking
No,
spaces.
But I do believe your prior witness testified that where the 10 and 7 spaces are is his outdoor storage. That's what's raised in our question right now.
And there's no request for a waiver for parking
Correct.
or a variance for parking.
We're not proposing storage on the parking spaces on the site plan. The storage is,
No, but we have testimony that says just the opposite.
Mr. Chilak testified that concrete pad, the 10,060 square feet, was storage. The front concrete pad was storage, as far as his operation was concerned.
Mr. Mance, can you indicate on A3 exactly where the proposed parking spaces are?
A3, which is the
Which is up right now. No, pardon me, it's A2, but I'll use A2.
A2 shows 7 parking spaces to the west of SNR. It shows 3 parking spaces north of SNR. It shows 4 parking spaces south of Mr. Chilak's office building. It shows 10 parking spaces south of Mr. Chilak's condo B, and it shows 7 parking spaces west of Mr. Chilak's condo C.
And they're all going to be paved and delineated.
No, because A3 is showing
the parking spaces were changed, though.
Right.
When you
Go to
discussed
go to
the impervious
A3.
surface issue. So the parking spaces to the east of the building by the silos are coming out. And you
Yes.
added 7 where the 10 is in the back of the property.
I
correct?
addressed that on A3, but you asked me to talk about A2.
Well,
I
There
understand.
was a reason I asked for A2, because that was what was supposed to be the delineated spaces. My question relative to A2, before we get to A3, is are they all going to be under the plan proposed at the time? Were they going to be paved and marked?
The plan indicates that they were not to be paved and marked. If the board so desires, the applicant may agree to that, but the plan was not to do that.
Okay, now let's go to A3.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mance, but our office reviewed the plan under the assumption that proposed spaces would be spaces. Did I miss a note or something that says, here's the spaces, but we're not going to really build these spaces? Did I miss that somewhere? Oh, maybe I'm looking now at a note 4. The parking spaces and directional arrows on this plan are only shown to indicate that sufficient parking spaces are available on this site. The spaces and arrows are not proposed to be installed at this time. Well, I apologize to the board and to Mr. Coyce's office. Our office missed that and was under the assumption the plan we're reviewing would be a plan that's going to be
You
built.
want to read that note again?
I'm looking at note number 4. I just
Would you
found
like
it.
to, for the record, read that note again?
The parking spaces and directional arrows on this plan are only shown to indicate that sufficient parking spaces are available on the site.
So maybe I misunderstood engineering, but basically I put a bunch of lines up on a plan to show you where parking could be, but we're not necessarily going to provide that parking at the time when this whole thing is approved.
That's correct, because the thinking when I prepared this site plan was the thrust of this application was the buffer in the rear, not to make parking, not to formalize the parking, because they don't have formal parking now, and they haven't had formal parking for years.
The problem is, correct me if I'm wrong, is once you put this before this board, everything's in play. You want to make changes from a previous approval, it's now in play. You're here for, things have occurred since the 1986 approvals, and therefore they all become viable discussions by this board, separate and apart from what's been previously approved, because you're seeking things that have been, that no longer exist, haven't existed, or have come up throughout the period. So once your client decided they wanted more storage, et cetera, or whatever, all of these items that may or may not have been approved in the 86 plan now become potential issues here in 2025.
I can't speak for my clients. We can have a brief discussion with them, but I believe that they can work with the not storing anything in the areas that are shown as parking on these particular plans, especially A3.
Put up A3, please.
I can bring Mr. Chilak back.
Now, why don't we put up A3 before we bring anyone back? That's still A2. A3 was the plan you provided tonight.
A3, as I mentioned before, is really A2 with the areas of pavement to be removed. The 7 parking spaces to the west of S&R remain. The 3 parking spaces in front of S&R remain. The 4 spaces south of the Mr. Chilak's office building remain. The 7 parking spaces
don't remain.
East of Condo C don't remain, but they were pushed behind the 10 parking spaces that were originally shown. So
you've moved 7, now instead of 10 parking spaces closer to the residents, you now have 17.
I didn't follow your calculation.
7 and 10, correct?
Yes.
That's my simple math, 17. Lawyer math, yeah.
Lawyer
lawyer math would get you 34. You would get you 34. But
Mr. Chilak testified that he used a concrete pad in the rear and in the front. The other stuff that's shown on P1, I can't testify to that. I think you'd have to talk to Mr. Chilak because he's already testified that he doesn't use that for storage.
That's correct.
So on note 4, it does say that it doesn't specify which parking spaces are actually not existing. So can you repeat just one more time that which parking spaces are actually real parking spaces and which are just on here just because?
There are no real parking spaces. There's nothing delineated. In front of Mr. Chilak's building, there are an area where you can park 4 cars. They're not delineated as such. The S&R operation tends to park some cars on the westerly side where I show those 7 parking spaces. Those are really the only parking spaces I know that are really used at the present.
And is that ADA spot actually existing and actually usable by somebody with mobility issues?
It's not existing.
Okay.
Mr. Chilak, in P1, is this representative of the condition of what we see on this? Is this the way it looks now?
No, it's not.
Okay. Can you explain, is it cleared, or are you just using the concrete pad and the aforementioned container that's been there for, I think you said 8 years?
Yes, I believe this photo was taken when our tenant was moving out, and all the rectangular shapes you see there. And I think there's a large crane there that was used for moving this stuff out. All that is gone.
Okay, so that's...
The only thing we have in that black area are pickup trucks and vans.
Like parking?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, to the left, there is that concrete pad, and that's our storage. The trailer next to the silos is our storage.
Mr. Chairman, can I suggest, because it doesn't look like we're going to finish this application tonight, that before the next application, the applicant provide us with a picture similar to P1 of the current situation on the site, so the board can attempt to determine the viability of P1 versus what's going on right now?
I think that would be fair, but also, should we also ask for outdoor storage markings? Besides what's being asked for, but what's occurring today?
Well, I think a picture delineating exactly what's on the site now will also address some of the issues that we've had testimony on as to what's parking, what's being used for parking versus what is, since there are no delineated parking spaces.
And I think also we're going to need to address the ADA spots.
Well, that
Because.
along with a number of other items.
Right.
that start-
No, but as a minimum, it can't be gravel.
I'd like to submit this photo of a current condition.
Well, we're going to come back.
We
My
can't-
understanding is that the board wants us to come back and provide.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
But you can clearly see it's only vans and pickup trucks.
Counselor, if that's the case, provide it, let us know when. We're going to get the gentleman up here in a minute to deal with P1.
Okay, yeah, my understanding is the board wants photos of current conditions on the site,
Board wants current conditions.
which we
Mr.
can
Coyce,
provide.
Mr. May, you want anything else?
Well, I think,
That's 2 out of 3, guys.
I think Mr. Coyce would agree that we would suggest that the site plan, which was A2, should be updated to delineate where the planned parking is going to go and where any planned outdoor storage is going to go.
Correct. Agreed.
Okay.
Can I
Needs
go
to
one
be
step
clearly
further?
delineated.
A3. This is the proposed site plan?
Correct. I would update, submit A3 with the storage clearly designated.
I think what we also need, not only a picture, we need an A4, which is a site plan design, and I'll leave the two of you, as to the current situation as well. Because we have an approval for this site dating back to '86. In the absence of any further action by this board, that site plan should look a lot like the '86 plan. I have a feeling it doesn't. But I think the engineer should provide to the board engineer and the board planner in advance of the next meeting, a site plan, not only a picture, but a site plan that also shows the current situation on the site, to allow both Mr. Coyce's office and Mr. Mayer's office to compare that to the '86 approvals.
And we provided a survey of the current conditions on the site that Mr. Mans did.
Yes.
And I would also suggest putting more additional dimensions to show the distances off the back.
Well, but let me,
Because.
sir, the gentleman who's the author of P1, and I apologize since I don't remember your name, I don't want to.
That's okay. Paul Batkowski, 30 Campbell Road.
Proffer, Mr. Bukowski, as to when this picture was taken and who took it.
That is a picture from Google Maps, satellite image, and it was taken this week as a screenshot by me.
It taken as a screenshot, but you don't know when it was taken.
That's correct.
Thank you. Okay.
I believe
Thank
it was.
you.
I believe it was newer than 2005. But
I apologize, Mr. Chairman, for semi-hijacking, but.
But I think also to help everyone to get setback lines to some of the key components. Because we have a few, but they're not, we don't have any going to the proposed outdoor storage area. It might be helpful just to have a reference for the 60-foot mark so that we can see where everything is relative
No.
to.
And from the public's perspective, if I may ask, one of the things that, again, we would like to see is alternatives developed. Timeout.
We are way ahead of where we belong. This is the applicant's application. You've been allowed to introduce P1, but this is not the time nor the place for a discussion of alternate opportunities. However, if you would like to talk to counsel and her client at the end of this meeting and possibly set up a time to talk between now and another hearing in the hope that you might be able to come to a mutual understanding. The board won't stop you, but the time and place for having a discussion of what about this versus what about that comes at the end of this hearing, not now.
Understood. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we're open to hearing people's concerns and working with them.
Thank you, Counselor.
I also just wanted to point out, as my client pointed out, the parking lot is gravel now, and so when we say parking lots aren't delineated, we mean that they're not striped because it's gravel, it's not pavement, and that's pursuant to the
I believe that's the
existing.
testimony. The question is whether or not, I think, and I can't ask Mr. Mayu or Mr. Coyce to go back and look at A1 versus now, but I think some of that's got to be, we got to look at A1 and see what was approved versus what's being proposed. Not right now. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, David, Mark, there has been no additional changes to this property in terms of a board action since 1986?
Correct.
Thank you.
Correct. So the 1986 plan is still the governing plan.
That's correct. And what I believe we've heard testimony, we've had a certain amount of what one would call the legal doctrine of creep. Creep. Things have sort of crept into not just the application, into the site itself.
Okay. Or is it worthwhile to hear from any of the other witnesses?
Well, Mr. Chilak has anything else he wishes to add, or the public has anything they wish to inquire of him, that might be the way to go. At this point, we're at 9:45.
That's true. Time flies.
Then the question is, counsel, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, has 3 more witnesses?
Yes.
I don't know if it's worthwhile for the other business owner, just to kind of give an overview of the operations, or no? You don't want to? Okay.
I would hold off on that because I think the other business owner is the one that primarily is going to be using this outdoor storage, if I understand the testimony correctly. So I suspect that the gallery is going to have a lot of questions about his usage of that outdoor storage, and we're clearly not going to finish that in 15 minutes.
My suggestion, we bring Mr. Chilak back. If counsel has any more questions of him, or the public has any more questions of him, and then we'll see where we are.
Okay.
I'd also point out, Mr. Chairman, while we're having change in the guard, the only date you currently have on the calendar is January the 8th, because that's the only date you have for next year right now.
Okay.
And I don't know what's on the agenda, so.
Mr. Bernstein, I did some research. I know when the picture is from. You guys want to know? No. It's from August 2023. You can backdate it to Google Earth.
Okay. We'll confirm. Mr. Vitale will advise. That will.
That's it.
Somebody on, see, what happens,
As our
Samantha?
GIS expert as well, if you also go onto Google Earth and click 2025, you will see a different image than the photos that we are looking at currently. There is a lot less of what is looking like.
And you could go all the way back to 1995 and we could see it nearly from year to year, sometimes every 2 years, and you could see the history of the property and how the site plan may have, how the existing conditions may have
however-
changed from what is on record.
Google Earth is not a witness before this board and cannot be questioned, so I appreciate Mr. Vitale's research, and he will advise the planner and the engineer about it, and we'll let you all deal with it accordingly.
All right. So, with the remaining time we have, any additional board questions? Well, I know, but I just want to make sure here, because we tend to trigger more questions. Okay. Anyone from the public? And, wait, sorry, just going to remind that you're still under oath.
Yes.
There.
Mariusz Grabowski, 32 Campbell Road. More of a comment, if I may.
No.
Question.
Question.
Because we're going to continue this hearing.
Okay, so I guess, are there any parking spaces which are currently marked? I think we went over this, so
The parking areas are gravel. It's not possible to paint white lines delineating the individual parking spots. But as you can see in this current photo,
No.
We'll come back and we'll
Thank
bring
you.
photos
The-
reflecting current conditions.
the cars are arranged as is on the latest drawing.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I, if there's nobody else, can I just ask Mr. Chilak a couple of questions?
Yep,
Just
please
following up
do.
on P1. Mr. Chilak, you see the area that's designated as parking on A3, correct?
Yes,
And that would be used for parking, correct?
correct,
It wouldn't be used for storage, correct?
correct. In fact, that's how we're parking right now.
Okay. And the photo, the image on P1, that's an aerial view, correct?
Correct.
Not necessarily the view from the rear houses as they're looking through a
Correct.
a
Satellite
landscape
image.
buffer. And in any event, it doesn't reflect current conditions,
It
correct?
does not.
Okay.
Current conditions look much like the latest drawing with 2 rows of cars, one in back of the other.
Right, and so just to, again, to clarify the storage areas, which we would clarify on the next, on our revised plan, it's the storage trailer, the concrete pad
Correct.
for your property. Okay, thank you.
So we need to,
Public have any on those questions?
right.
Yes. Mariusz Grabowski, 32 Campbell Road. Mr. Chilak, just, would you be willing to?
No. Question on what he testified to.
Okay.
About the parking, yeah.
I do have a question about parking. This is a question about parking. Would it be possible to either pave or asphalt the parking spaces and mark them accordingly? So from somebody from outside, it looks like an organized place. Everything's in place. Would it be possible to designate those parking and either pave them or asphalt them and mark them, number them?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Okay, thank you.
Doesn't mean the board can't.
I think we should try to find a date and get the date of extension.
Well,
Your time
at
of
the
decision
moment, Mr.
extended.
Chairman, the only date you can give is January the 8th, because it's the only date this board currently is constituted to meet. But we have a January 22nd hearing that we're praying for. We have anything on for the agenda for the 8th?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so. Let's just give us a moment.
All right, so, Dave, is there anything else besides the 8th that we could hypothetically, and then, I guess we schedule first meeting of the year? Because we've done,
You don't have any applications right now that I'm aware of unless he tells you you've got them pending on the 8th. that are
Anything pending?
That are carried to the 8th.
well, I think we need to go beyond the 8th. I saw a lot of shaking
Well,
heads now.
that's part 1, then we're going to get to part 2.
Just to-
That was about to be part 2, which is, are your witnesses available?
Yeah, our planner, Mark Remza, is not available on January 8th,
Well,
but I think Mr.
if you want them all together, then this is the best I can recommend. The board's reorganization meeting is January the 8th. You can come and make your pitch for when you want to be placed back on the agenda, but the board cannot schedule a hearing beyond January 8th right now,
Right, right.
unless you want to put some of the witnesses on the night of the 8th.
he shouldn't. Yeah, so we would ask to be put on the agenda for January 8th so that we don't have to have any further notice. And then on January 8th, we would either proceed with witnesses or perhaps request an adjournment, but we are letting the board know that our planner.
If you are planning on providing additional witnesses, you need to provide to the board at least 10 days in advance any and all exhibits you plan on including the ones the board has asked for this evening.
If I may, we currently have a firm hold on that day for an extension and request of relief for another application. It could change, but it's an extension, yes.
About that much time?
Should be.
Sure. Okay.
So if you're going to, at least 10 days in advance of January 8th, we would like to see all the exhibits that the board has asked for and/or you think you may want to consider having people testify to, because frankly, A3 is in violation of the board rules. But we admitted it.
And my understanding is that you can't give us a date beyond that because you haven't set your calendar.
That's correct.
Okay.
But also, I'm just wondering, how much can we get done on the 8th, other than to ask for an extension? Because, we've encouraged them to get with the neighbors and with the holidays. and-
Well, I would assume
Right, but
council.
to try to get a
I'm
set of
assuming
drawings
council's going to
together,
come back
10
either
days.
on January 8th and
Yeah.
one of the following, and I don't want to speak for her. One, they have come to an understanding with the residents and plan on either coming back at a future point with an application that meets all of it. Two, they're still talking and want more time. Or three, they're going to come and continue the testimony on the application. Or four, none of the above. But she still has to come.
All right, I just want to set expectations of what's going to happen on the 8th.
The likelihood is we'll ask for more
Right.
time. We'll show up and we'll say, we need more time.
Okay.
What this means, ladies and gentlemen in the audience, is you will not be getting another piece of paper telling you there's another meeting. If the board agrees to this request and also the granting of an extension on the time of decision and grants it to carry this to January the 8th at 7:30 PM or as soon thereafter as the matter may be heard because your reorg is at 7, you will not be getting another, this is it. This is your notice for the 8th. Beyond that, maybe the same thing. It's quite probable you will not get another piece of paper setting forth another date. Extinction till when?
When would you, is the board asking us to grant an extension through February, March 31st?
March 31st.
Yeah, let's do March 31st.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, also, the meetings are published on our website, so you can tell when this is going, the agendas do get published ahead of time.
What is the early Christmas present? It's still like, Santa's not bringing another notice. No, we
gotta
need a
make a
motion to
motion.
carry this application
January
to
8th.
January the 8th, 2026 at 7:30 PM or as soon thereafter as the matter may be heard, as well as an extension of time of decision to March 31st, 2026 without further notice.
Someone making the motion?
I'll make the motion.
All right, I'll second.
There you go.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Wagner.
Yes.
Mr. Radowitz.
Yes.
Mr. Vitale.
Yes.
Committeeman Lapani.
Yep.
Mayor Chicarelli.
Yes.
Vice Chair Peason.
Yes.
Chair Sarachi.
Yes.
Thank you,
Thank you
Mr.
all.
Chairman.
Okay.
Happy
Thank
holidays.
you all.
Thank you.
And with that,
It's a wrap.
well, it's a wrap for the year. So just to remind everyone, first, thanks for another great year. And, right, and as Mr. Bernstein indicated, this board will...
Folks, the meeting's still going on.
Sorry. We have, this board will be reorganizing on January 8th, 2026, about 7 PM. followed by the regular meeting, which will be 7:30.
Well, I figure
Down and
if
back.
it will start sometime thereafter, and I'm assuming Mr. Coyce is planning the extension request relief to start.
Right. So with that, I will entertain a motion.
Just,
Okay, let's go.
just to give you all a little heads up for those of you who are back next year, I don't, who knows who will be and who won't be. We're going to be busy, and it will not start with the word warehouse. It will start with another word that has house in it. We're going to be, you're going to be seeing ordinances at the beginning of the year that we are required under law to review and approve so that the township committee can do so before March 15th. So just make yourself,
And a new plan as well, correct?
and anything and everything that we need to do in the first quarter will have to, going to go come through here.
Right. Just to
And
set
enough ti- and
expectations.
enough time to give the committee the opportunity to adopt it and get approval from the court, Fair Share, and God knows who else. So,
Okay. Motion to adjourn?
Motion for group photo?
Yes.
Before you leave, after group photo? Yeah, for the year.
All right.
Okay.
Motion to adjourn.
All
No
in
group
favor?
photo.
Aye. See everyone next year.
You got it?
I've done enough photos.
No photos.